and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you a requested tutorial from my group on how to cut this stylish backless dress, and this dress is from Gemma Wears. To join our WhatsApp class, go ahead to send us a DM. So to start, I've gone ahead to mark out all my basic measurements, which includes my shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waistline. My shoulder to bust is 9 inches, my shoulder to under bust is 12 inches, and my shoulder to waistline is 17 inches. Now to get your hip point is 7 inches after your waistline, and the full length of my dress I'm using 27 inches minus the folding allowance. So I didn't add a folding allowance to my pattern because I'm not making use of this pattern. So if you're actually going to sew this dress, you can add a folding allowance at least 1.5 to 2 inches. So next, you notice there's another line under my blouse length. So that line will be serving as a dart line. For the front part of this dress, I'll be inserting a bust dart on it. So by the time you sew up that bust dart with 1/2 inch, this pattern will come up. That means the front pattern is 1 inch longer than the back pattern of this dress. So after that, we'll move over to cutting out our pattern. Here I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2, which will give me 7. I'll come down by 1 inch, and from that point I'll place my ruler to draw out a shoulder slope. Next, I'm going to find my chest line, which is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. If you're working for a very plus size person, you should consider adding 2 inches and not 1.5 inches after dividing your bust by 6. Now, go ahead and mark what you have on that shoulder on this chest line. Place your ruler and draw out a straight line. Mark and fold your tape into 2. Now, I'll be coming in by 1/2 inch here and go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. So next, I'll go ahead to connect my line from my bust circumference to the midpoint and from the midpoint to the upper part. So after I'm done connecting this now, I'll go ahead and use my marker to outline. So the next step you want to take is to mark out your neckline. So from the shoulder, you can come in by 2.5 or 3 inches. It totally depends on what you want on this point. And from here, I'll come down by 2 inches and go ahead to connect. So if you feel this 2 inches is too high, you can use 2.5 because the neckline of the dress is a bit high and is in form of a scoop neckline. So this is what I have here, and the next step I'm going to take from here is to go ahead and insert my body measurement. I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. My bust is 33 divided by 4, I have 8.3. Mark my under bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. My under bust is 28 divided by 4, I have 7. My under bust and my waist is the same measurement, so I'm going to use the same measurement for both. I'm going to mark my hip circumference divided by 4 and I will add my sewing allowance. So you can use 1.5 inches to 2 inches for your sewing allowance. You don't need much sewing allowance for this pattern. So I'll extend what I have on the hip all the way down. After that, I'll place my curve drill and I'll go ahead to connect my pattern starting from the upper part to the lower part of this pattern. So after I'm done connecting this at this point, notice at the lower part of this dress is not fitted. It has a little flake. So you can use at least 2 to 3 inches for this. So it depends on how you want yours to be. So for me, I'll be using 2 inches. Just like I said, you can use 2 inches, 3 inches or 2.5. So I don't think you should use up to 4 for this pattern. So I'll just go ahead and connect to that point. And after I'm done connecting, I'm going to use my marker to outline this. So after I was done connecting, I had to reconnect it again because I felt what I had here was in a bit roundish, but on the actual dress it was looking like a slight flare by the side. Before doing that, I will come down by 1 inch from my bust and I will be going in by my nipple to nipple divided by 2. Now I'm going to go ahead to connect. So because I don't want the bust dart to be reaching my nipple to nipple point, I'll come out by 1.5 inches at this point. Mark 1/2 inch at both sides of the dart and I'll go ahead to connect and also connect at the other side of my pattern. So after I'm done connecting this, I'm going to use my marker to connect it all the way down. So by the time you blend the side of this pattern, it's going to come up. So the reason for adding that extra 1 inch, it will be serving its purpose so that the side and the front will be matching up after sewing out your dart. But for this pattern, the dart was blended out before cutting out the dress. So just like I said, I'm just going to go ahead to blend this out a bit to make it look slanted and not curvy at all. So I will just go ahead and reconnect, and after that I'll go ahead to cut this out. So at this point, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and also leave your question at the comment section. Moving over to the back pattern, I've gone ahead to mark out all the basic measurements for this pattern. And also I added a zipper at the back. So for your zipper, you can use 1.5 to 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead to mark all my measurements just the same way we did for the front. All you have to do is to divide your bust circumference by 4, add your sewing allowance, repeat that for your waist and your under bust, and also at the hip area. So to make sure that what I have at the side aligns with that of the back, I'll place my pattern paper this way. Make sure that it's starting at the zipper, and I'll go ahead to trace it out. So after tracing it out, I'll outline it and go ahead to connect the rest of my pattern this way to the waist. And next we are going to work on the shoulder part. I'll come in by 2 inches and I'll start taking this down all the way to the under bust. So when I get to the under bust, I'll create like a curve going down about 1 inch or 1.5, and I'll extend it to the zipper area of this dress. To get rid of the bulginess at the zipper, I'll come in by 1/2 inch at the waistline and extend it to the zipper. So here is my pattern, and I'm done drafting. And the next thing I'll do is to just go ahead and cut this out. So at this point, if you find this tutorial very interesting and educative, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button. See you in our next video. Thanks.